I'm Dr. Nicole Alexander Scott. It's awesome to see such a packed house. We are thrilled that you are all joining us for this event, and that we're honored to have such a distinguished author, advocate, and public health leader here with us today. So welcome to all, from our state agency book clubs to community partners like our health equity zones and everyone in between. Welcome. I want to acknowledge members of our General Assembly who are joining us today. I just saw Rep. Kislak and Rep. Bella Wilkinson responded to join. And also we have the Kresge Foundation and Rhode Island Center for the Book, who has also supported this event. And I'm honored to have our esteemed sister agency colleagues from Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management, Terry Gray, who's Deputy Director, and Director Janet Coit, and I've been texting back and forth, and she's like, I'm gonna be there, I'm coming. And also the amazing members of our Rhode Island Department of Health family, who are here and present and energetic and so committed to working hard every day to keep our food, air, water, and communities safe and healthy. So thank you. Also a special thanks to our planning committee for today's event to actually make this happen. We've spoken about it for weeks and it's here. Julian Drix, Lori Leonard, Dr. Ada Amobi, Dana McCann-Derisier, and Sophie O'Connell. You have to make sure I pronounce that right, Dana, whoever she is. And most especially, thank you, Dr. Mona, for sharing your drive and your passion with us, for inspiring us. Your work and your book truly are inspiring. This is the heart of public health in action. It's about evidence, using science and data to drive our work. It's about prevention, putting systems in place to catch children and families and communities before they fall. It's about equity, removing obstacles to health for every child in every community, regardless of their zip code. It's about social justice, acknowledging and acting on forces like discrimination that created the conditions that we live in today, where some people get to live in safe homes and neighborhoods and others don't. That's what motivates us to change that. And it's about the community driving that change. In Rhode Island, we believe that public health has to be community-led to achieve the best outcomes for the people we serve. One thing that this book drives home is that you can't have healthy communities if you don't have safe water coming out of people's taps. The availability of safe public drinking water is a true public health success, one that is easy to take for granted. We've also made great strides to reduce the rate of childhood lead poisoning in our state over the past decade. However, that downward trend is starting to flatten out. Because the consequences of lead are so serious, even one lead-poisoned child is too many. Unfortunately, our data show that many children with elevated blood lead levels live in communities with higher rates of poverty. Dr. Mona's book does such a good job talking about health equity in a relatable way. It's not just lead in the tap water, it's the combined impact of toxic stress and exposures, lack of opportunity, and structural injustice that can hold children and communities back. That's what we have to fight against and push forward through. What I love is that Dr. Mona also shines light on solutions, and she demonstrates the critical value of well-funded, community-based public health work. While our situation is different from Flint's, we have an amazing opportunity this year to have important conversations about these issues across our state and contribute to these conversations that should be happening across our country. Also thanks to Dr. Mona's leadership. Dr. Mona says in her book that this is a story of our deep obligation as human beings to care and provide for one another. It's a story of hope. I'm so hopeful, just looking around this room today, that together we can and we will create a safer, better world for our children.